A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Jamaica's poverty rate has dropped from 16.7% to 8.2%. As the government's economic program begins to pay off, our country is heading towards sustained growth. We are building Jamaica. The time by the office of the Prime Minister is...
It's 3 minutes after 9.
You're inside the Consumer Hour with Nora Gay Banton.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. It is Thursday, August 14, 2025. We are alive and well, and for that, we give God thanks. Good morning to you if you're listening on the 90 FM band, 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, and 90.9 on your FM dial. We appreciate your company there. Thank you so much for joining us on your radio. If you are listening and watching on our YouTube channel, good morning to you. The channel is Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. That's Nationwide 90 FM LIVE in all caps with the number 2 right beside that. You want to go on over there and subscribe if you haven't already. There are a lot of you who, you watch every day but you don't subscribe. Why you do that? It's free, Just subscribe. So I want to say good morning to Juliet Sanchez, who is first in the YouTube chat this morning. Good morning to you, Juliet. Herman Hyatt, top of the morning to you. Roger Smart, good morning. David Nebar, good morning to you. Errol Townsend, top of the morning to ya. Monique Hunter, good morning to you as well. Zazzy Girl, good morning. Albert Morgan. Did I say Albert already? Good morning again, Albert. Let me see who else is in the chat this morning. Ryder 40. Good morning to you, Ryder 40. Shauna Brown, Sonia Hutton. Arlene Rowe, top of the morning to all of you. KMC is there as well. Good morning, KMC. Sandra McMaster Ramirez. Good morning to ya. Let me see. Ines Campbell Murray, did I say that already? Dawn Cunningham. Good morning to all of you over there in the YouTube chat. All of you who continue to join us on a weekly basis. Thank you so much for supporting our YouTube channel. If you're listening from our mobile app, which is available for free on the Google Play and the Apple App Store, good morning to you. And those on our website, the Listen Now option there. Top of the morning to you as well. Thank you so much for joining us on the YouTube platform. This morning, it's a Thursday morning, and this Thursday morning we have for you MLSS and You.
MLSS and You is brought to you by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, providing opportunity, stability, and social protection.
All right, and inside MLSS and You this morning, we are going to be focusing on the Productivity Forum and the official launch of the Jamaica Productivity Center's Productivity Toolkits. We've had, I think, about 2 conversations about these Productivity Toolkits that will be officially launched pretty soon. And to have this discussion with us, we're joined by Chief Technical Director at the Jamaica Productivity Center, Mrs. Tamar Nelson. No stranger to the program. We also have Mr. Omar Azan, who is chairman of the advisory board of the Jamaica Productivity Center. And with them, we have Mr. Jonathan Isaacs, who is Senior Director for Technical Assistance Services at the JPC. Good morning to you, gentlemen and lady.
Morning.
Morning. Thank you for having us.
Morning, Nora.
Morning, team
All right.
JPC.
Team JPC is out this morning. All right. So we're gonna go right into it, and of course we do not like to have conversations about productivity without helping our listeners or viewers to understand what exactly it is that we're talking about and how it affects them in the Jamaican context. So Mr. Omar Azan, I'm gonna throw the first question to you. Help us to define productivity in our Jamaican context and its importance for our economic growth.
Right, and let me just say that it's a backbone in terms of our competitiveness.
Yes.
And without productivity, we're not going to be able to grow anything or our economy in total. And it's, pretty much the efficient use of our resources like labor, capital, time, technology, in terms of producing goods and services in our country. And more specifically, it often refers to our labor productivity, the output of each worker, what each worker will produce per hour worked within various sectors. So when you compare Jamaica in terms of where we are to where the rest of the world is, we're not really standing in such a great sphere. And the Jamaica Productivity Center is the agency under the Ministry of Labor that's there to do things to help to drive productivity. I'll say to you that all governments, whether it's PMP or JLP or any other P you want to call it, one of the major issues that Jamaica has in terms of our competitiveness globally is our productivity levels, and it's something that every government needs to take on a very serious basis and fair to be able to push. And I'm not just talking about manufacturing, or it's in every aspect, even in your own family lives. We need to be a productive family. Your kids, in terms of getting to school on time, getting your work done for school on time, daddy and mommy doing things in a timely basis, and using resources as best as they can for their basically in terms of output. So that's just my little take on it.
Awesome, and I'm happy you went to bringing it down to the family, because sometimes when we think about these things, we think about them on this large scale basis, and we probably go think about manufacturing, as you said, and it's not only with even in the workplace, if that's where your mind goes, but you can bring productivity down to the most granular level, to yourself and to your families. And I want you to talk a little bit, Mr. Azan, about how mindset affects productivity and what the JPC will be doing to address that mindset issue.
Yeah. Well, what I'll say to you, it's a cultural change that we have to really embrace moving forward as a country, as a people. Just think of it. If we were to improve productivity within our families, within our government agencies, within our agricultural sector, within our tourism sector, within our manufacturing, every sector of the economy, can you imagine the spotlight that Jamaica would take on the global sphere? And it's something that we really need to look at culturally, and how we move forward in terms of getting our competitiveness, increasing our competitiveness. And there are a lot of challenges that we face as a country. But I think if we can do what we're doing here at the JBC to improve our productivity levels in every aspect of our society, I think Jamaica would be in a much better place on the global sphere. Yes, we have challenges, but there are many areas at Jamaica. For example, if we are a productive nation, when we have shocks like hurricanes and different things or global crises that take place, we're able to be very resilient if we're a productive nation, right? In terms of job creation and higher paid wages. If we're a productive nation, there are going to be more people coming here to invest and create more jobs and open more companies if we are a productive nation. And what happens with that? when that happens and we don't have enough labor force to be hired, people have to pay us more. So guess what? We would also have to increase our wages and salaries locally. So it in every aspect, we attract more investments when we're a productive nation. We increase our productiveness as a productive nation. Our standards of living as a productive nation will increase. And I mean, just look at Singapore, right? That's a perfect example of a productive nation. So Japan, those are countries that are really doing well in terms of their productivity levels. But guess what? They spend a lot as a government and as a people and put a lot of time and effort into building productivity in their countries. And for Jamaica, I think we're advanced compared to the rest of our Caribbean nations when it comes to this. I mean, we have JPC, the Jamaica Productivity Center, that the other nations in the region, in the Caribbean, look to us for help. And I am just pleased and honored to be serving here to help Jamaica and to help our country. And I think we need to put a lot more into getting our productivity levels up.
Yes, we are almost up to the break, but the Jamaica Productivity Center, you've identified the issue where our productivity in Jamaica is concerned, and you've moved ahead with establishing a possible solution to our problem here, or at least identifying where our lack is and how we can address that through the productivity toolkits. Now, after the break, I want to start with you, Mr. Azan, just to tell us how these productivity toolkits will help, who they will help, and then we'll continue the conversation with Mrs. Nelson, who'll tell us about the forum and how these will be accessed at the forum. After the break, we take those.
Now, PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV.
PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV.
You want to do your thing with your queen or your king.
Or I get a little frisky that make you flex frisky.
PrEP, are you extra bucketed?
To help you stay HIV negative.
PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV. PrEP tablets available at your clinic from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Who shops at Creative Building Finishes? You, the homeowner who creates luxurious spaces with our floor and wall tiles. The contractor and builder who are convinced that our ceramic tiles are right for the job. The architect and designer who make dreams come true with our wood look and porcelain tiles. Superior customer service, knowledgeable staff, inviting showroom, and you get where this is going, right? Shop 5 Red Hills Road or call 876-929-5553. Get tiles, get Creative Building Finishes.
The wait is over. Spark is coming to you. Across Jamaica, we'll be fixing 10 roads per constituency. Over 100 roads will be fixed by September and 630 roads overall. This is real action, real improvement, real results. Every Jamaican deserves safer, stronger roads. Spark, the next chapter in Jamaica's infrastructure development.
Good morning. You're back here inside the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Nora Gay Banton. This Thursday morning, we have MLSS and You, a program brought to you by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Today, our focus is on the Productivity Forum, which will also see the official launch of the Jamaica Productivity Center's productivity toolkits. We've if you are a loyal listener to this program, you would have heard conversations before about these toolkits. Now we are almost at the point where they will be officially launched and out and available to the public. We are having a discussion with the Chief Technical Director at the Jamaica Productivity Center, Mrs. Tamar Nelson, Mr. Omar Azan, who is Chairman of the Advisory Board of the JPC, and Mr. Jonathan Isaacs, Senior Director for Technical Assistance Services at the JPC. Mr. Omar Azan, still with you for a little bit now. These toolkits, can you give us some practical examples of how these toolkits will help businesses, schools, government agencies, and who will be able to access them?
First of all, let me just big up Tamara and her team at the Jamaica Productivity Center. They have a very small team, but let me tell you the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes, and I want to just big them up in terms of the development of this very practical solution of the tool. This is literally taking the boots and putting them on the ground to find ways of growing our productivity levels. And what they did was not only look at it from the business perspective, but look at it from, the schools, government agencies and offices, and also the businesses. So they've looked at every area, and pretty much what it is, this is not a theoretical application, this is a practical toolkit. And these toolkits is going to help us to measure, improve, and sustain and grow our productivity as a nation, which is very, very, detrimental to our survival as a country. And pretty much what it does, it helps us to measure what matters, right? It allows us to embrace change and make a move to getting the best use of our resources, whether it be labor, whether it be equipment, whatever it is, or raw materials, or whatever it is, that we can better use and not waste and do whatever is necessary to move our country forward. It's a commitment that our leaders in government and government agencies, and as a people, that we need to commit to making productivity a national push to get this thing done. It has to be from every level of society.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Azan. Mrs. Nelson, Chief Technical Director at the JPC. We've been talking about these productivity toolkits for quite some time now, and I want to zero in with you on the Productivity Forum. Talk to me a little bit about this forum and some of the main goals for the Productivity Forum.
Yes, Laura. Good morning again to you and all your listeners across Jamaica and beyond. It's always a pleasure talking with you, and yes, we have been talking for a while, but today we're not only talking, we are launching the tool.
Yes.
So we are very happy today. The team has worked very, very hard to be able to share this information with the public today. And, we would have started our discussions, I think, from June, Nora.
Yes,
and,
yes.
So we have designated time to put time aside for productivity so that we can equip persons with the right tools so that they can improve. And, today we are keeping that promise. The theme that we're looking at is culture-driven productivity, shaping mindsets for resilience, innovation, and partnership. Right? So we're looking at things that will help to drive that culture-driven productivity. We want to get it into the minds of everyone, and what they need to do, how they need to do it, where they can look to for help. And so this toolkit, we can say, is just the beginning. Because, based on the discussions we have been having and what the chairman just mentioned, productivity is not just about working harder. Right? It's a big part of it is cultivating that mindset that embraces change and drive innovation and build the kind of partnerships we need to move the needle forward. Because this is something that it's not a one-man show. It's often said that productivity is a team sport. So we want Jamaica to be competitive globally. It means that we have to change how we think and how we work together and how we respond to the challenges and the disruptions that come up. right?
Yes.
So that's what we're about today.
So this forum now will see who will gather at this forum, and what are we hoping will come out at the end.
Okay, so good question. As a JPC, we are the national organization that's dedicating to productivity improvement for competitiveness and economic growth. So, as a nation, we're helping individuals, businesses, public sector to not just work harder, but smarter, right? So we do this through events such as these that will bring awareness and education. We also have our technical assistance services, which Jonathan heads, that work directly with organizations and to improve systems. And you'll be hearing more from him. And also through research and policy work. So in our audience today, we really have everyone. So we have persons coming from universities, from the government institutions and organizations, from private sector. Persons from the region will be joining us because our partners, our international partners, are very keen on learning from us as well. So we have participation from Barbados, Trinidad, and Europe. And you'll be hearing from these persons as well. We have them lined up as speakers as they will be talking about various topics related to our theme here today. So it has been generating a lot of interest, and we are looking forward to a very a great program that will leave persons with not just inspiration, but valuable tools that they can go back and implement immediately.
All right. So will this forum be available somewhere online, maybe for the public to listen in or watch in or join in, or is it a closed event?
Well, it's a hybrid event. So we are going to be live from the Terra Nova Hotel this morning, starting at 10 to about 3 o'clock, and we'll be streaming to the Ministry of Labor and Social Security's YouTube page, for the entire period. So, persons can join in and, be a part of it, and, we'd love for persons to join in the session. They will, they'll get immense value from doing so.
All right. So the Productivity Forum today, which should start at 10, will be available for those who want to listen in and watch and learn something today. The event will be streamed live on the Ministry of Labor and Social Security's YouTube platform. That's just if you go into Google and type, not Google, YouTube, and type Ministry of Labor and Social Security Jamaica, the page will come up, and the live stream is already there, waiting to begin. So you can go on and join. And Mrs. Nelson, the productivity toolkits will also be launched today, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, go ahead.
We will be unveiling these 3 practical toolkits tailored for the public sector, businesses, and our students, right? And these toolkits are designed to help persons and organizations to identify the gaps and create action plans and measure progress. And it also will link them to us at the JPC, where we can also provide assistance in helping them to achieve their goals. And as you said, it's a streamed event, so persons can either through the ministry's pages or the JPC's pages can access. And we'll be looking at, just to give an idea of some of the topics, right? We'll be looking at not only launching the toolkits, but our current productivity statistics that will be shared by our research team. We will be, how important measurement is. You can't manage what you can't measure. That was one of the quotes from Peter Drucker, the father of management. And, we want to build that the measurement culture as well. So we'll be sharing some of that information where we are. And we'll be also tuned into one of our speakers from the UN group, UNCTAD, who would be looking at building productive capacity as a nation. And we have started a 3-year project with this organization to build out that measurement system for us that will help us to be very strategic and deliberate in what we are working on in terms of productivity and making sure that it yields success. We'll be also looking at building a productivity ecosystem, right? And Minister would have mentioned that in his sectoral speech earlier this year, and we have partnered with the ILO to conduct a study that will, and Jamaica has been selected as one of the countries that will be studied starting this year to look at how we can build that ecosystem out here in Jamaica. And so we have a representative from the ILO who will be speaking on the work that will be done and how other countries have benefited from such an ecosystem build out. We also understand that as a nation and the times we are living in, that disruptions are real and they are more frequent and bigger than ever. So what we are looking at is how can we lead through these change and these disruptions, whether we're in private or public sector. So one of our partners, a change management consultant, will also be sharing, how we can do so and using some of the technological tools available to help us on that. And speaking of technology, we can't leave out AI. So we have an AI expert, a local expert, that will be also sharing gems with our audience today to see how we can stay with or ahead of the curve, as we know that AI will change the way we work and do business. So, apart from that, we have, a lot of giveaways from some of our dear partners. We can't do anything without our partners, so persons can stay tuned and see how they can also benefit from some of those surprises that we have in store.
Awesome. So the Productivity Forum, once again, for our listeners who want to know more, especially about the productivity toolkits that will be launched today, you can join into the forum, which should start in about half an hour on YouTube. It's Ministry of Labor and Social Security Jamaica, their YouTube page. It will be live, and you will hear the details about the toolkits that will be launched today. I'm sure they'll go into a little bit more details about the toolkits and how they work. As Mrs. Nelson just said, Jamaica's productivity statistics will also be shared at today's event. So if you are interested in Jamaica and its growth and development, this is something as a citizen you definitely want to tune into and listen and learn more about. We're up on another break, so we're going to take the break. When we come back, we are going to bring Mr. Isaacs into the conversation, who is going to talk to me a little bit more on the technical side where the productivity toolkits are concerned.
Spectrum Insurance Brokers provides quality insurance coverage and risk management services. The time by Spectrum Insurance Brokers Limited, setting the industry standards, is...
It's 9:31.
Outperform, outlast, with top performance, Chakama, reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electricians. Select tools, free parts and free repairs. 3 parts, free repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61114. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
In Jamaica, Your rights are protected by our Constitution. From the right to education to freedom of expression, every citizen deserves respect and dignity. But remember, with rights come responsibilities. Let's uplift and respect each other and stand against injustice. Together, we can make Jamaica a better place for ourselves and future generations. Know your rights. Embrace your responsibilities. This message was brought to you by the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
The following hurricane tip is brought to you by PowerTech Jamaica. Map out multiple evacuation routes by foot or bike. Roads may flood or get blocked, and gas may run out. Know at least 3 ways to leave your area, and prep a go bag that's light enough to carry. Keep a paper map handy, as GPS might fail in an outage. The preceding hurricane tip was brought to you by PowerTech Jamaica. Telephone 876-908-0196-9.
If a hurricane mash up your house tomorrow, would your insurance fully cover it? Many Jamaicans are underinsured and don't even know it. One hurricane, and they could be paying millions out of pocket. BCIC's free property valuation tool is here to help everyone update their home's rebuilding cost. Plus, when you update your sum insured with BCIC, you'll get $5 million in free contents insurance and up to 12 months to pay. Visit bciconline.com.
Good morning. You are back here inside the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Nora Gay Banton. It's MLSS and You this morning, a program brought to you by the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. And we are talking about the Jamaica Productivity Centre's productivity toolkits, which will be launched today. They're also having a productivity forum today, which should start at 10 o'clock. And we're speaking with the Chief Technical Director of the Jamaica Productivity Center, Mrs. Tamar Nelson, spoke earlier as well with the JPC's chairman of their advisory board, Mr. Omar Azan, and Senior Director for Technical Assistance Services of the JPC, Mr. Jonathan Isaacs, is also on with us. And I want to talk now with Mr. Isaacs about the technical side. The toolkits, Mr. Isaacs, they will be launched today. Does that mean after the forum today, whenever it ends today, these toolkits will be up and available online for businesses, schools, and government agencies to go ahead and access?
Yeah, well, that's the intention from us here today, that persons who are participating in this session, so that's one element or area in which persons can access these toolkits. So we have designed the toolkits in such a way that they're set up in a physical way as well. So we have printed basically the content-based versions of those toolkits for persons to access. We've attached QR codes to those as well, so persons can now scan those physical copies if they do come in contact with them to access the digital version. The intention is also to have it on our website, the ministry's website as well as on other social media platform and other platforms, so the public can access quite easily.
Okay, so but officially though, if you want to go ahead and access the toolkit, where is the official website, or where do you officially go to access it?
It would be, the official site would be from our ministry's website, so it would be from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security website under the Jamaica Productivity Centers
tab.
Yes.
Okay, so you go to the Ministry of Labour and Social Security's website, which is mlss.gov.jm, and you find the Jamaica Productivity Center.
Under the Labour Division, so we fall under the Labour Division of the Ministry, and then you can look for the Jamaica Productivity Center, and essentially you would be able to see those toolkits there.
Great. with anything new, there needs to be, training, a kind of orientation to the product. What kind of technical support or any kind of training sessions will the JPC provide to help users who or groups who may intend to use the toolkits? What kind of support will you provide?
All right, so that's a great question. So one of the things that we would have designed or embedded within the toolkit is access form or access to back to the Jamaica Productivity Center through a service form. So, for example, persons can actually fill out that form, and we can reach back out to them in terms of if it is that they want to explore additional services, or in a case where they're having, let's say, challenges, there's also a feedback element of it that they can easily provide their feedback, and we can also reach out to them. In addition to that, quite easily persons can reach out to us, at the Jamaica Productivity Center, of course, through our social media platforms, either on Facebook at Jamaica Productivity Center, on Instagram at Jamaica Productivity. And they can always send us an email as well, jpc@mlss.gov.jm. Or if they wish, they can call us at our number, which is 676-5739. That goes up to 40. So essentially what I'm saying here is that the toolkit itself is designed for feedback. That's one of the ways in which we're actually going to continuously optimize and improve. And we naturally expect that, as you said, persons may have some challenges with, whatever element of it are wanting to seek clarity on a particular area. So we have actually thought about that and have allowed for that consideration in terms of a feedback, form where persons can fill that out directly in the toolkit at the end, or if they wish to, let's say, move on to other services that may be a little more detailed in terms of the particular challenge they may be having, then we are able to provide that level of support. Awesome. But essentially, the toolkits also, might add quickly, are basically in the most basic form of the toolkits now, in terms of it's essentially adopting a core card format. So essentially what that is to allow our users to quickly go through and get a course. So, for example, in both the government and business toolkits, persons, once they complete, they would be tiered in terms of a ranking, in terms of whether we're looking at a brand or goal. And as a result of that, now they would get basically a diagnostic output to say that, okay, these are the challenges, this is what we're recommending for you to move ahead with. Basically, the intention is that we want persons, it's really a self-serve toolkit, so we want persons to be able to utilize that as a means through which they can also come to us to access our additional services as well.
Awesome. The toolkits now, once they are launched and officially available on the ministry's website, and you're able to access it wherever. I know you are targeting three main groups: businesses, schools, government agencies. Will the toolkits be accessible to anybody or individuals at any level within these groups? For example, with schools, can a student just go on and just complete one of the toolkits or access one of the toolkits, or an employee at any level within a government agency or a business, can anybody go on and access?
So the intention is, that's a great question as well. The intention really is that we tend to look at productivity sometimes, generally speaking, in an elusive way, whereby persons are unable to relate to it in a kind of practical way.
Yes.
And so the idea behind it is that, yes, we chose those three groupings, which are the businesses, government, and students. So, for example, in the context of a student, or for the student, anybody any student can go on. The three main levels that we considered for now were the primary level, secondary, and tertiary level. So there are some key basics very basic, but some key elements that we believe are critical to allowing those students to be able to access their own levels of productivity as it relates to, them completing their academic requirements in terms of, how they execute, for example, doing exams and so on and so forth. And so essentially that was the intention behind it. So just the same again for businesses, anybody can really, even if you're not maybe a business owner, but at least you can look at the toolkit to see maybe what are some of the elements, some of the key and critical elements that could be considered or utilized in terms of moving ahead in terms of optimizing those business operations. So the idea behind all toolkits is that we, as I said earlier, we aimed to set it up in a scorecard format, and that simply is just saying we have a score. It's your score, so it's not just something that you'll just do and then that's it. It's a scorecard setup. So essentially it gives you a diagnostic score. It tells you what that score means, and it then tiers you or suggests and recommends you those areas of the APC that can provide further support. So for example, in Clinical Assistance Services Unit, we do offer tailored productivity workshops. We do offer productivity snapshots. We do offer detailed productivity audits. So essentially, those services were built into the toolkits, especially for the government and business toolkits, whereby you have completed your scorecard. It then gives you that ranking in terms of you're at a bronze level based on your score, you're at a platinum level, you're at a gold level, and essentially recommend the service or additional services that you can utilize from the center in order to further even optimize your operation.
Great.
But anybody can utilize the services and work of anybody can do it.
And are there any costs or any other eligibility requirements for individuals or maybe organizations who require to use or would like to use the toolkits?
Right. The toolkits again. The reality is that we recognize the nature of breaking down those barriers as it relates to really making productivity accessible and practical. And so, with that in mind, there's no cost associated with actually using the toolkit. And so what it is that we're saying that, we want persons to take control of their own productivity in terms of their government operations, businesses, students, and really and truly that is so organized in such a way that, it's like a self-serve kind of setup where persons can just easily go on, as I said, to the website or to if you're at a function today or, you come across maybe the physical version of that scorecard, there's also a QR on it that you can scan and be able to access the digital toolkit. But really and truly, it is really meant to allow persons and, right across those three groupings to be able to access it, and it's free. There's no cost associated with that.
Awesome.
If it is, for example, based on the services that we offer, let's say there is a requirement for much deeper and further comprehensive, for example, a detailed productivity audit, we would naturally do that arrangement with you, and then if there's a cost, we could explore that at that particular point in time. But really, in and of itself, the toolkit, there is no cost to anybody who chooses to use these toolkits.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Isaacs. When we are up on a break, we're going to take a break. But when we come back, I have another question for you as it relates to the back end of these productivity toolkits and the role that the JPC will play after the break.
Fill all your prescriptions, get cosmetics and other pharmaceutical items at Mannings Hill Pharmacy, located at 34A Mannings Hill Road, Kingston. Telephone 924-6280. At Mannings Hill Pharmacy, they stock all the hard-to-get medication. The time by Mannings Hill Pharmacy is
9:46.
Truth is, HIV affects everyone. Truth is, Avoiding care leads to a weaker immune system. That means you could get really sick. The truth is, the hardest pill to swallow isn't the medication. It's the problems that follow when you don't take them. Let's get through this together. Remain in care. You can live life to the fullest with HIV. And that's the truth. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
A+ for back to school? Yep, you can score that. Just grab an A+ back to school loan from Access Financial. Why? Reduced interest rates, duh. Plus, you could win your loan interest-free.
That's right. Apply for an A+ back to school loan and you could be entered to win your loan interest-free in the Lucky Loans promotion.
From school fees to footwear, uniforms to book lists, we've got you covered.
For back to school, the only thing you need is a reduced rate loan from Access Financial's A+ back to school promotion. Conditions apply.
You hear, say nationwide back to school fair get pushed back to August 23?
What? Push back? Lord, man, me need ready to go Harmony Beach Park, you know.
Yeah, man, but them push it back to make it bigger and better. More vibes, more giveaways, and more things for everybody enjoy.
So tell me something. The book swaps still go on?
Yes, man. Still bring the books the kids don't need, and them can swap it for the ones them can use. Plus, them are gonna have health screening, school supplies to buy, banks and location, and enough giveaways.
Alright, me like the sound of that. But anything else I want?
Then no must. Me here say them have domino tournament, scavenger hunt, and beer things for the whole family. So make sure you register.
Register? So how me have to go register now if you go in if it's free?
Because once you register, you automatically get entered to win the grand prize in the special raffle.
Me have to go call up some of my friends them cause we can't miss this. So tell me now, what the new date?
August 23, same place, Harmony Beach, Montego Bay, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nationwide 90 FM's Back to School Fair. Bigger, better, and full of vibes.
The NNN Back to School Fair is brought to you by KFC, Massey Distribution Jamaica Limited, Cozy Corner, Phoenix Vision Center, the Jamaica Public Service, the Jamaica Customs Agency, the Urban Development Corporation, Friends of the Mayor's Parlor, JTA Credit Union, Stewart's Automotive, J&J Pharmacy, Hospitan, Budget Car Rental, and Digicel Foundation.
Good morning. You're back here inside the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Nora Gay Banton. It's MLSS and you this morning, and we are talking about the Jamaica Productivity Center's Productivity Toolkits, which will be launched today at their Productivity Forum, which is scheduled to begin at 10 a.m. And for those of you who are listening and you want to learn more about the Productivity Toolkits and the JPC and the productivity in Jamaica, you can join the forum online on the Ministry of Labour and Social Security's YouTube channel. They will be live at the forum today. So go on over there and learn something. Learn more about the toolkits and go on and access it yourself and see where your productivity is. Score yourself. All right. We are speaking with Mr. Jonathan Isaacs, who is Senior Director of Technical Assistance Services at the JPC. We also have been speaking with Mr. Omar Azan, Chairman of the Advisory Board of the JPC, and the Chief Technical Director herself at the JPC, Mrs. Tamar Nelson. Mr. Isaacs, read the toolkits. Now, it's open and, it will be open and available for all to access. You are essentially assessing your own productivity as a business, as a government agency, as a student, as an employee. After that, you will receive a scorecard. Now, I'm assuming it is then up to the organization. If it's up to the school, it's up to the business, it's up to the agency. If they want to look at the scorecards of their employees, students, whoever, and then reach out to the Jamaica Productivity Center to assess this and see where training may be required or where some new programs may be necessary. Okay, so it's up to the person to reach out. Now, will the Jamaica Productivity Center be able to access these results as they come from all the persons who do it and do your own assessment? Or are these made private and only accessible to those who take it?
That's actually a very great question for context for your listeners. So the reality is that from the back end, we are able to see the results that come in, and that is very important for us as well, because naturally we'd want to be able to, be able to look at and also measure for ourselves the uptake in terms of the persons utilizing these toolkits and so on. From the perspective of the users themselves, they would be able to immediately see once they've completed or gone through the requirements of the using the toolkit, they'll be able to receive that score as it was in terms of being able to indicate where they are in terms of their productivity levels, I said earlier, in terms of ranking themselves relative to government, business, or students, in terms of where they are. Be able to know not only that, but also be paired with a service based on the score that could provide or help them to optimize.
Right.
Or improve on that score. So the idea behind it really, and that's why I said it earlier, in terms of the toolkits themselves at this stage, is really meant to be in a format or in a framework that is at the most basic level that allows for measurement. Measurement is critical to productivity, where there's no way, I think CPD said it earlier, there's no way that we can actually move ahead without actually measuring. So we saw that as a very important element to ensure that scorecard does give that level of output in terms of a measurement or a score. As I said, we would be able to access that as well as the users themselves. And yes, it's up to them really. So we're hoping, and that is why we paired, that with our actual services that we actually offer to the public.
Yes.
Hoping that persons will take up on that in terms of coming to us and saying, hey, I got a broad level in my business. I'd like to move to what the goal level is. What would it take in that regard for me to be able to move to that level? And then, naturally we would provide them with more deeper recommendations in terms of moving ahead.
Okay, great. Love to hear that. Now we are almost out of time, but just before we go, I don't know who will take this, Mrs. Nelson or Mr. Azan. After today's forum and the official launch of the productivity toolkits, what will your public education look like for those of or for the rest of Jamaica who is not listening to this program, who may not be at the forum, who may not watch it on YouTube? How will you ensure that the message gets out to the rest of Jamaica and ensure that persons are utilizing the productivity toolkits?
Right. I think unfortunately the Amazon and Mrs. Nelson had to go.
Okay, no problem.
But essentially the perspective to that is that for persons, let's say, who are not able to be here and so on, but the reality is that the intention is that the services of the center remain, accessible to the public. And one of the most important things about the forum today is that it will be recorded. So if you, anybody can go on the Labor's YouTube page. If you go to YouTube and you just type in Ministry of Labor, the page will come up, or you can type in the Jamaica Productivity Center on YouTube, and you can, kind of review those takeaways that from the session today. Outside of that, naturally we continue to maintain our active presence on our social media pages, other social media pages. So, for example, we are at Jamaica Productivity on Instagram. We are at Jamaica Productivity Center on Facebook. And as I said earlier, we can, persons can feel free. JPC at mlss.gov.jm. Send us an email. Reach out to us by phone, 876-676-5739. and that goes up to 4-0. But the reality is that at the end of the day, the most important thing is that we want to break down, as I said earlier, the barriers with which persons see it when they think of this whole concept of productivity. We don't want it to just be an elusive concept. We don't want it to be, we really want to make it something that's accessible to the average person, to everybody in the society. And, if we're talking about culture, it really will require that level of access and ease for everybody to really be on the same page as we move forward with this whole message of productivity. So, that's very important. And, as I said, persons can just stay tuned to our social media pages, stay tuned to the Ministry's website, and, we'll continue to, sensitize the public. We'll continue to execute our work plan accordingly in terms of, different functional areas, whether it be our research team, whether it be the technical team, whether it be initiatives with schools and so on. So we continue to execute in that regard.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Isaacs, for joining us this morning, and all the best to yourself and the rest of the team as you launch your productivity toolkits today.
All right. Thank you so much for having us.
Awesome. That was Mr. Jonathan Isaacs, who is the Senior Director for Technical Assistance Services at the JPC. We spoke earlier with Mr. Omar Azan, Chairman of the Advisory Board at the JPC, and the Chief Technical Director of the Jamaica Productivity Center, Mrs. Tamar Nelson. The forum is today. Once again, you can go onto their YouTube channel, that's the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, Jamaica, and join in on the forum, learn something, and be advised about the productivity toolkits and how you can access those. All right, that's all the time we have for MLSS and You today, brought to you by the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. And we make way now for Cliff Hughes Online.
MLSS and You was brought to you by the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, providing opportunity, stability, and social protection. That was the Consumer Hour with Nora Gay Banton.
Nationwide 90